Cool. All right, welcome to this session. So, last time, as a short recap, you were in the Fort Knucklebone as run by Mad Maggie, one of the Avernian warlords, who you helped in a number of ways. You kind of did some friendly tasks for the occupants of Fort Knucklebone, especially Maggie's underlings. You assassinated a red cap. You helped fix an infernal war machine. You gave a flying skull his tooth back. And you participated in a ritual with Mad Maggie to recover some of Lulu's memories. And in that process, you also managed to acquire some information of your own as well as some things. You parted ways jovially, and Mad Maggie actually managed to give you some useful stuff, particularly the imps pins and needles crafted a number of compass needles for each of you, according to what you saw through the golden spyglass in Lulu's memories. You currently have, in addition to those things, you received a silvered quiver, I believe. Arliss received a silvered quiver. A pair of infernal war machines, specifically a Devil's Ride kind of chopper motorcycle-y vehicle, as well as the Tormentor, which is more of a dune buggy-like four-passenger vehicle. It has been corroded by acid recently, so the armor isn't as good as it might be. But it has been rigged up with a harpoon flinger by Chukka and Clonk at your request. So it has an amount of armament as necessary. You currently have mounted Advocat's needle and are headed toward. Advocat, what did you say you were headed toward specifically?
We were headed to some forges.
And
In order to arm ourselves better for the upcoming trials and tribulations we're about to face.
And you are. That's where we are at the moment. I wanted to take a sec to give kind of a little broader description of traversing Avernus as a plane. Since this is kind of the first time we've been out in the general wilds of Avernus, if that makes sense. So, one of the first and most pressing things you notice in the landscape is that it is exactly the same level of light exposure across the landscape as when you first arrived in Avernus. It doesn't appear to have brightened or darkened, no sorts of dawns or evenings, but just this kind of unsettling twilight. And it's not coming from any particular direction either. Looking out towards the horizons in all directions, it seems to be much closer to several or maybe many light sources set just beyond the horizon, as if the place you were on was like ringed with suns just having gone down. There is a pervasive heat in the plane. It is not so much sweltering as much as it is just mildly uncomfortable for the duration that you've been here so far. The air is kind of thick with this malevolent, magical energy. It's clear that this place is a breeding ground for different types of powerful magics and enchantments, but they're distinctly twisted in a way that's a little hard to put your finger on. In the distance, there's jagged shapes. There's things rising out of the ground in the distance, things embedded in it. Lost structures, ruins, things you can't quite make out from a distance, but it is not a blank landscape insofar as a desert would be. It's not dunes and flatlands. There's lots of indistinct features at a distance, kind of set all around you, as if there were something here before you got here. most notably, as you continue traveling, you always have an eye on the river Styx at any given point in space, as it is just so immense and omnipresent throughout the landscape. It carves through the ground like a knife wound of sorts, in that it's really torn into the ground itself, and kind of bleeds energy around it. The wind kind of howls around the vehicles as you tear across the ground, kind of carrying whispers of terror and malice. It's a fun place to be. It's a good time. So when we left off, we had Barnaby, the Loxodon, cruising on his own on the Devil's Ride motorcycle alongside the Tormentor, which is currently being piloted by Gus, with the other other three members being passengers of the Tormentor itself. Has anyone taken up the position at the harpoon flinger, or are y'all just all right? Good to know. Yeah. So, one of the first things I would like to do is say that you're all getting pretty hungry at this point. You've been on the plane for almost 2 days time at this point, since you've arrived in total. And other than Maggie's meal previously of delightful, delicious abyssal chicken, the traversal and the kind of exhaustion of just kind of being here means it's time for a snack. It's time to do some nosh. Yeah. So if you would like to do so, if you have the materials to do so, I would recommend eating if you would so choose. If you choose not to, let me know.
Well, what is that? Are there any notable landmarks, like any shade, sort of, or little rock formations nearby that we can see, perhaps?
Yeah, because if you want to eat, you're gonna have to stop because you're on a bike. Yeah.
Yeah, let's say there's a number of pillars nearby. Kind of.
Have a picnic.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
We're having a great little picnic together. I love that.
Surface of Avernus.
Yeah. Plains of hell.
Yes.
There's a structure not too far in the distance where say half a dozen or so carved stone pillars are jutting up out of the ground, and there's kind of a ruinous wall along one side that it doesn't offer much in the way of shade. As I said, it's not so much an overbearing sun. The light's just kind of omnipresent from all around. But it may offer some amount of shelter or cover, if that's what you're looking for.
Yes. Barnaby will just take out his lance, do a spinner around, to indicate.
Tally ho, that away.
Yeah, pointed towards the thing or whatever, since probably can't talk too well in this.
It's a little hard to communicate over the howling winds, apparently. The tormented.
The engines are likely louder than the winds, luckily. One of the advantages of riding in an infernal engine is you get to hear the rumbling, also maybe screaming engine
Yeah.
over the other screaming.
So good.
So that's kind of a good auditory space to be in, though. Because,
It is.
You know, you're driving basically down a highway, like highway speeds. So you've already got the sound of, you know. Yeah, exactly. You've already got the sounds of the earth underneath you and your vehicle noises and the screams of hell. So it's just a grand old time, I assume.
It balances out pretty well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm assuming Gus, well, not assuming, Gus sees that Barnaby has waved them down, so he's gonna move the big tank, slow her down, and let everyone out,
Yeah.
so we can all munch on yummies.
If you would
Picnic.
like, this would be a pretty convenient opportunity to short rest if some of you need more or less amounts of healing or spell recovery.
I need my arrows, baby.
I need a little bit of healing. So yeah, Barnaby will sort of just like take post near the wall, leaning again, sort of just keeping an eye on the horizon on the desert, and looking out for any more war parties like we saw before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make. Sorry, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say if everyone else needs a short rest, Gus doesn't really need it
I was
at
also
all.
going to say Advocate absolutely does not need a short rest, and as everything is like stopping, he's like, why are we losing momentum?
I mean, I'm pretty hungry, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, sure.
I mean, I want to see us get to the blacksmith or whatever, but my hunger is
No,
Gotta
I
keep
know
me-
Tommy's doing a growling, you know?
it's
You
only
know?
natural. No, yeah, I mean, by any means.
Yeah, so I mean, Gus is just gonna eat. He doesn't need to short rest. He'll just like twiddle his thumbs until people feel rested.
Awesome.
Does anybody? Does
Gonna spend time putting all my arrows from one quiver into the funny new one. The fancy.
That's pretty
Brad.
fun.
Now
So,
time to buy silvered quiver on D&D Beyond.
oh, jeez. I don't think it's an item. On
Damn,
D&D.
never mind.
But
I'll
what
double check
What
though.
it will mean is that for the because as the effect previously is that it means your arrows count as silvered when drawn from the quiver, which gets around certain resistances. Who was doing the Gus? You were leading insofar as you're following the compass, right?
Yes, correct. I was just following the compass.
Awesome. So I would like you to do a bit of navigation.
Okay.
Can you go ahead and roll 2d8 for me?
Yep.
And tell me if they match.
Ooh, interesting. Sorry, I was ill prepared with my dice for some reason. They weren't on my table. I usually have them.
Having mentioned keeping an eye out, Barnaby, if you would like to make a generalized perception check.
Of course I would.
2d8s, you said?
Correct.
Yeah.
I got a 2 and a 6. They did
Okay.
not match.
They did not match. Good to know. So, having been following the compass, you're pretty confident that you're on the right route in where you're headed. Yeah, if that's.
Gus is a confident person, so if he thinks he's right, he's right.
Yeah, you're going for it. Who currently has the map?
Oh,
I rolled a 17, by the way. On
Roll the
perception
17.
check.
Okay.
We have a map.
Yeah, wait, I didn't know we had one.
We have a map.
You were given a map of Avernus by Alice in the Red Library of New
yeah.
Hyrule.
I don't remember who took it.
I think the
You may
Would-
decide who has it if you would like to so choose.
I know my party members will not trust me with it, so
I
I'm
think
gonna say
Advocate-
no.
I think
Yeah, I feel like Advocate would probably be. I know Gus probably would not. He's
Advocate would have still
klepto.
volunteered, so
No one's gonna
Advocate
trust
be able
me
to
with
fight
that shit.
about it. It'd be a
Oops.
whole like,
I lost it. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
I'm so forgetful.
Oopsie whoopsie.
Oh, so I'm hearing
I've
that
got
you
it.
want to have lost it.
Nope, I've got it. I've got
got
the
it?
map. The
Are you
map is
sure?
in my hand.
It can
Yep.
be lost if you
No,
want.
I listen. I never lose anything.
Okay.
I'm great.
Listen, it would be really funny though. Come on. Come
Never
on.
loses.
I'm just saying. It'll
We're
be a
just,
lot of
we're just a bunch of
fun.
jokers. I definitely have the map on me.
Those fucking red caps stole the map.
I that would be thematically appropriate.
That would be really good.
Oh my god.
I got the map.
Okay.
Runs.
Oh man.
Yeah, so just a thing. Now that you're on the plane of Avernus, that may be more relevant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
oh, navigator, if you would like to
Off
view
back.
this map in hopes of gaining any sense of better direction, I'm
Well,
sure it would be
where are we and where are we going?
well. Spreads out the map.
There is an image of the map in Art Docs and Pics. I think it's a little farther up. It is a large image.
Oh, I just pulled up Roll20.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think the session is live, so you probably won't be able to. Okay.
No,
Don't
I mean,
like-
I could
oh,
see the map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the main page. It's just like the default.
Rad.
So yeah,
that would
it has
be a good
some
thing to
some
use.
drawings on it, but
Correct. So where you are might be a bit of a problem to find out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Additionally, having since last time you looked at the map, elements on the map have shifted.
I was about to say,
Right.
the volcano is not the direction we're going, it appears. So,
Right.
fascinating.
It is more a something of a list of locations as much as it is an analytical precisely where things are in relation to one another. So
What a strange place.
It's a good thing we got a compass then.
True that.
Right. So, if one of you would like to make an attempt at gleaning information from the map, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
I'll do it because it's right in front of me. But oh wow, and that 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Right.
Gus is smart also.
Gus is
Gus just gets it, you know.
Yeah, so you get a sense for specifically you're kind of like staring at it and it's like, oh, that looks kind of like both a volcano and a forge, I guess. Kind of up in the top right.
Oh, I was
Oh,
around volcano,
jeez.
but yeah.
That way up there. Okay.
Yeah.
That is across the river Styx.
Well, on the map, yes.
Yeah.
In real life, we can just kind of play pretend.
It's wherever we want it to be. Well, not
It's
we.
wherever the DM wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Raises eyebrows.
Yeah, by we I mean the DM.
Correct. Thank you. You are in fact correct. So you kind of this doesn't glean as much information as you would like. In combination with the compass kind of gives you an assurance of just like, yeah, we're going the right way. This is correct. We've figured this out. So yeah, you're assured that you are on the right track.
Okay, cool.
At least Gus is.
Yeah, so if you would all like to take a little rest around these little ruins. They appear to be made out of carved stone of some kind. You get like 1.5 walls in an L and then half a dozen pillars that are crumbling in various states of crumbling decay.
Gus is going to be bored throughout this. Do they like hold any information or they sure are ruins?
You can make an investigation check if you would like.
Okay.
Investigation or...
I would just say
for
investigation.
you, I'm just going to say investigation.
Are we all
13.
there?
Mhm.
Can I assist?
Sure.
Because I'm pretty decent at that. Do you want me to roll on my own?
Yeah, you'll get different information too.
All right.
I got a good old 13.
13's pretty good.
I did.
Um,
Where did D&D Beyond go?
the pillars themselves and the material used to construct this. You're a kobold. You've been around rocks.
Sure.
Specifically, you're a kobold thief who's been in a lot of palaces. The material that this is made out of looks like it was at one point marble, like polished white marble.
Oh, okay.
But over some amount of time and decay and destruction, it's now this kind of like gray, brown, stained, gross
Is that
color.
I'm assuming, but that's out of place for this, right? That's like we haven't seen any structure that
It's the
has
first
had.
you've seen of it, yeah.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Yeah. You identify the same thing, meaning that this is you get the material out of this. You also get the added benefit that it looks like you're a noble. It looks similarly arranged as a ballroom, like a grand ballroom in some kind of palace.
Ooh.
How big are these like ruins?
Big enough to hide your vehicles in, but only just. You get one wall that's like 50 feet long and another one that's like crumbling that's like 25. The pillars are probably 5 feet around and close to 20 feet and range between 25 and 70 feet tall.
Cool. Okay. Bigger than I thought.
Very large, yes. So, you rolled a perception check, Barnaby? You rolled
Yes.
17?
Yes.
You scan the landscape pretty thoroughly, and you spot in the distance, in the direction you'd seen them before, a small band of vehicles kicking up dust. But they are predictably where you remember them being.
Okay. So they haven't exactly altered course.
Correct.
All right.
For remembrance, last time there was a small band of vehicles, particularly consisting of some rat people with goggles that you encountered very briefly before they ignored you.
Dirty rat boys.
I'll just keep my eyes trained on them as I munch on some good. I have no idea what Maggie
do the
packed in
rations
our
look like
lunch
again?
boxes or anything.
So rations typically consist of food that keeps for a very long time.
Dried
so you've
meat.
got things like hardtack and dried meat.
Yeah.
Maybe some amount of water. But while you are here, it tastes real bad.
Yeah.
Any particular bread construction, any kind of like food like that, just it eats fine. Like you can consume it at a normal pace, but it just tastes like ash and smoke, and not the good like smoky kind of smoke. And most of the meat just tastes like biting through. It's a lot slimier than you would like. And it doesn't like. If it was salted, it tastes exclusively like salt. And if it's unsalted, it just tastes like you're biting into a hunk of too old meat. Water tastes like something between bile and piss. With a poor consistency, except for those of you who still have holy water. If you have if you would wish to consume that,
No.
then that still tastes like fresh, wonderful, clear spring water.
Ugh. That's the wrong time to like try and like want to take a sip of something. Oh.
Advocate has already had that horrible experience.
Yeah, Gus is kind of used to eating like nasty scraps and shit.
Yeah.
So this is just run of the mill.
just
Not the same.
Business as usual.
Barnaby wants to save the holy water. I mean, technically, it's not for consumption unless under specific circumstances he has access to water, no matter how it is.
Do those specific circumstances include being in hell?
Yes.
That's fair. That seems fair. All right, so if you have rested, would you like to continue onward?
Yeah, if we're saying we've eaten, is that like a half ration or like
A full ration?
a full ration?
but we won't have to eat for the rest of the day.
Sure.
Ugh. Advocate angrily eating through like the hellish equivalent of a Slim Jim. Impatiently. Just like...
Not happy about it.
I used to really like turkey sandwiches. What the hell is going on? It's just like crying, like trying to like cut this piece of steak, just like.
I think you're used to all seeing Advocate very just like languid and like just like, yeah, whatever, this is happening, and now he's just impatient as hell, just like all right, I'm getting through this, we're getting to, god damn it, we're getting to the next destination. Enough of this shit.
Barnaby's not really reacting to you much right now. He's kind of just letting you, I don't know, burn off steam or whatever.
Tired of all this bullshit.
Wonderful.
He also chews loudly because he has big teeth.
Be even more annoying.
Marlis hears it, he just yells at you to shut up.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't have a jaw this big.
It's called
sounds like when
table manners.
I don't see a table. Do you? Let it slide. And
Yeah.
let's please, for the love of God, move on.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I suppose we have rested long enough.
How's Lulu doing?
Lulu's fine. Lulu's great. I mean, she's a little bit sad after, all the, like, but she's on the rebound because, she got to fly alongside with Barnaby on the motorcycle. It was really cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna get her like little goggles.
Oh my god.
That would be pretty
They
good.
have to be rainbow.
Lulu
They
needs
have to be rainbow.
Is Lulu a thing?
Lulu is a celestial, so
Okay, I was
Lulu
gonna
does
say.
not have to eat to
No.
to survive.
I feel like she tries like a nibble just to even, and then it's just like bleh, 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 bleh. Icky.
Gross. Disgusting.
Yeah, imagine you have to eat that to survive. I don't like it here. Let's go. Please.
Yeah, let's. Are we mounting up?
Yep, we are not.
All right,
No.
wonderful.
Hop off. Onto the wheel, onto the ground.
Wonderful. So yeah, you head off in the same direction, following the compass, and Barnaby following behind, beside. Are you leading? What's the plan?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
following along. I'm taking up the rear, trying to keep an eye on trying to keep an eye on the horizon behind us, just to make sure nobody is following us.
Wonderful.
Does this thing have mirrors?
I have a mirror actually.
There are lots of
I
things
have
attached to it that are shiny. Whether they're pointed in the right direction is another matter. But for the time being, since this is your first time handling these cool new trucks, these cool rides, this neat whip, I'm gonna ask Barnaby and Gus to go ahead and make...
Gus not here now.
Oh, heck. Well, Barnaby first. Go ahead and make a dexterity check and add your proficiency for vehicles, for land vehicles.
So a dexterity check with the vehicle stats?
Correct. Or no,
Okay.
not with the vehicle stats, with your stats. To
Okay.
pilot the vehicle. Since this is the first time you've done this, it's really just a getting to know the vehicle check.
That's not good.
Are you gonna have to join us on the Tonka truck?
No.
I'm not giving up my seat, thank you. I like it up here. The wind is good for my hair.
The four of us are a bit crammed in here as it is.
I don't know about you guys. I'm having the time of my life up here. It's great.
Just like firing harpoons off the back.
I can't see anything. I'm squinting so hard.
That's
Trying to aim.
that's an 8.
Eight? Okay, so
Shut it.
it's
Shut
a
it.
little, it's a little rough. It's a little hard to understand. You have given your vehicle proficiency is from El Terrell, you're familiar with riding things like boats. Maybe, well, boats would be water vehicles, airships would be air vehicles.
Carts.
Carts, chariots,
Many
I suppose,
wagons.
stuff like that.
Hey, we have chariot games in Alterel. Hey.
And this is a little different.
No, we
So
don't.
it's a little harder to get used to right off the bat.
Yeah.
But all things considered, you handle it well enough that nothing goes wrong.
Necessarily.
Anyone can ask for.
I will be right back. Apologies.
You're good. We are also waiting on Thorn to get some food. I can't wait till we just wreck these things.
Yeah.
Well, you say we're going to wreck them. I think what's going to happen is we are going to get wrecked while we're in them.
Oh, easy. Thing is, you guys have your seatbelts. I'm up fucking top.
Oh, you're gonna get fucking yeeted.
Wait, Cole, do these things have seatbelts?
Cold is away.
No.
Oh, wait, no, you have.
They live in the
You're
same
We're in the same place.
I'm running at full capacity.
Clearly.
Big brain. Big
I
brain.
forgot that. That's so silly. You share a space. I was in the space that you share. Just, it hasn't sunk in yet.
Understandable.
You know, what's going to happen to Arliss is
Please.
it's gonna be like the time when Magnus got shunted from his battle wagon. Except for you're not gonna have a bubble to save your life. You're just gonna get fucking crushed.
Just land right in the fucking.
I already have. I'm saying this is on the record because the recording. I have a character as a backup just in case Arliss does die.
Oh, I haven't even thought about that.
Who
man.
has proficiency in land vehicles?
That's
There
hilarious.
we go.
So I'm just saying, I already have backups because the other backup character I'd have is Rhea, and she's still in El Terrell.
It's really difficult.
Oh,
Don't worry, Hannah. Advocate is canonically not allowed to die because you. Actually, wait, no, you are
Okay,
canonically.
it's not-
I can straight up die.
Contractually, they can die. I just get fucked.
Well, what I was going to say is you're canonically not allowed to die because you haven't gone to Sigil yet. But then again, actually no, you were
Pardon?
level. You remember the one shot that Advocate was in?
Oh yeah.
But no. That wasn't Arliss though. That was Pyre, my Fire Genasi.
Oh yeah.
Those are two different characters.
Weirdly,
If my
I
backup
have
character
healed
dies,
both of you,
Pyre's
though.
gonna come in, and Pyre will know Advocate and be like, "Bitch, you owe me the money." So I have
My
3 characters for this campaign if shit goes south.
That's hilarious. I love that 2 of those have deals with that. Like, what the fuck have we done?
It's a good question.
Advocate, good job, baby.
So,
For you.
Gus,
Yes.
we've mounted up and we're on our way toward the forges again. And since this is the first time y'all are getting used to driving your fun new toys, I would like you to make a dexterity check, adding any vehicle proficiency, which I don't believe you have.
None.
No.
So
Barnaby is
just
the only one that has them.
a straight dexterity check.
Could I?
Yep.
Could I
Is
perhaps
that
try?
my dexterity modifier on it?
Could I perhaps try to instruct them and lend them assistance?
They're a
in
rogue,
knowledge?
they'll be fine.
Do you have any kind of like shouting over the howling wind and engines to inform a kobold how to drive an infernal war machines kind of skills?
I think that's an
Barnaby-
Arcana check.
Barnaby has some pretty big lungs on him.
That's true.
He's got a big old snoot.
Performance check, let's go.
I
There
got
we go.
17. So
17.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's good.
It handles easier than you thought it might, and especially for the time being, just keeping it pointed the direction you want it to be in is a good idea as such. How fast are you guys going? If we're gonna pick a pace, would we go with
Gus is following
rushing, normal, or what do you call it?
Leisurely.
No, I would say normal pace. I would say normal pace. Advocate might say differently. It depends
Gus
on
is just following whoever. Sorry, he's just following Barnaby because I'm assuming he's leading us.
Barnaby.
I don't know.
Barnaby's
Barnaby.
behind you because you've got the
Oh.
compass.
We're leading, baby.
You're right.
He's got the
Let's
compass.
go. Floor it.
Yeah, Gus is kind of. He's really chaotic, so he's gonna.
Put the lid on. Put the lid on.
I'm not gonna think he's like. We're zooming, but not like a hard zoom. A soft zoom.
A soft zoom.
Oh, we are Russian.
We're doing like 70 and like a 65, like in a 60. It's not like we're going like 85 or above.
We're going like 15 over the speed limit.
Like 15 over, not like
it's illegal,
20 more.
but like
exactly.
not like you're gonna.
We're doing a little bit of a rush, but not bad.
Gotcha.
We're not drag racing, like.
Right. So the Tormentor can move 60 feet around. Not including dashing, though dashing would burn extra fuel. Right? Maybe. You'd be running harder.
I'm just going full speed then.
Yep. Awesome.
Full speed ahead.
Then you are you're going along pretty quick. The landscape is very much hurtling past you. And though the compass needle kind of like wavers on the dashboard, I believe I described it as a spike.
Yep.
That you rest it on top of. It is still pointing you in generally the correct direction.
I want to know how Arliss is doing on the fucking up top while we're
I'll
going
make a
full speed ahead.
constitution check for you. I don't care.
We stopped this thing, and Arliss's hair is just like stuck.
His hair is actually really short. It's just puffy. It's like kind of curly, but it's honestly like mine, where it just like makes a little bit of a ponytail.
Little ponytail is just like perfectly.
It's just like
Slicked back.
everywhere.
I figure Arliss would have just like cheeks waving in the wind.
The thing is, he's like kind of ducked behind it, probably like looking to the side instead of forward.
That's unfortunate.
It's still like there's no saving him. He doesn't have any face protection or anything, so like he can't do anything. He's just hiding until it's time to shoot.
Rad. Then in let's say like four hours of travel. It's a ways. You cross a good chunk of the landscape, which kind of morphs from the more dusty plains into much rockier crag areas. As you finally reach a sort of mountain range. To call it a range would be a bit of an exaggeration because there aren't that many and they're spaced pretty close together as opposed to the more wide ridge of mountains. And you see, as supposed, one particularly large mountain with this arch cut into the front of it. It's the arch is constructed out of this gleaming black metal. That's the bands of which that are seem to be holding up this entrance are probably roughly 10 feet thick, 10 feet wide, that are supporting this immense cave entrance. There's a pair of figures, look very skeleton-like, standing near the entrance, and leading into this archway. You see this iron road going into and out of it, but shortly after the entrance, it turns away and heads in a different direction than that which you came. You can see this pretty far off in the distance. I think it depends largely on whether or not you... I would like... how obviously are you approaching? You are
Gus
in
is
vehicles.
full. Yeah, he's full steam ahead. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a giant dust trail following behind him,
Not a problem.
he doesn't know. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's feeling powerful. He's in a big old vehicle for a small little boy.
I think I'm the only one looking behind because I sure as hell can't look forward.
Wonderful. So yeah, you approach more closely, and you note the inside, the interior of this arch is glowing with this kind of orangey red light, and you all are very obviously making your way toward the entrance. Before you get too close, the two large skeleton-y figures standing near the entrance are joined by a pair of much larger figures. Giants, by the look of them, probably close to 30 feet tall each. These massive, kind of like, just big old beefy boys. They appear to be in these huge chain link and leather aprons, it looks like, with a number of tools around their belts and manacles around their legs and arms, which don't appear to be connected to anything currently other than their leg irons, which are connected to each other. As you approach the two skeletonized figures near the entrance, I've got a picture for them, I think, somewhere.
Cool. If Gus is like approaching these, he's not gonna like blast right through him. He's gonna slow down to a stop.
I was about to say, I think Advocate kind of like creeps up next to you and is like, I'm glad for our haste, but I think it's no longer needed.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, that's awesome.
These are bone devils. They are some of my favorites in all of the designs. They're really great.
But wow, that's fucking rad.
They're really cool. They stand at the entrance and they kind of cross their tails across the iron road, keeping you from entering immediately. And they kind of the giants are kind of watching from behind them.
These aren't. How big are these things?
I'm gonna say.
Are they like roughly human size, or are they like much
slightly
bigger?
Larger? Not much bigger than human size. They are okay. Medium size. They are not large size. Although the giants, I believe, are huge size.
Yeah.
As in, what kind of giants are we talking?
Fire giants.
Oh, geez.
Great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Standing at the gate barring entry. The devil shouts at the kind of the, I would say caravan, but there's only two of you. The pair of you in Infernal. Who of you know Infernal? I believe is it just Advocate?
Yeah.
Advocate and Yarlo knows Infernal.
No, I don't.
You don't? I thought you did.
I know Celeste.
Oh, I do. Wait, no, wrong character.
Oh my god. I know Infernal.
I know Abyssal for sure. I don't think I do.
The devil shouts, "State your business or leave."
Advocate's just gonna motion for like Gus to like get the engine.
yeah. Upon doing that, Gus is also going to push Advocate out of the vehicle.
All right.
Gus is immediately like peeking up, like,
I will stumble out as graceful as I can and just kind of like wave to Arliss and be like, don't do anything at all. just
kind of like looking between the two and just nodding.
Still do nothing. All right. Advocate will dust himself off and kind of get within a range of like talking distance in order to do the stating of the business.
Right. It just business or leave.
No, yes, that we do indeed have business here. All right, this is gonna get fun. Me and my companions do have some business here. I, in particularly, have been summoned, and Advocate's gonna like pull out his summons essentially, and kind of like unfold and show, and like the signature. And, yeah.
The devil takes it and looks at it for a moment and says, "This is a requisition for you."
Yes, indeed.
Your companions are not listed.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I kind of need them to come along. Imperative, really.
They can stay here or be kept under guard.
I mean, they're a I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. They're a well-behaved bunch.
No.
Oh, God.
Requested. So be it.
Under guard, then.
Certainly. If you'll only give me a moment to actually speak with them and let them know what the situation is.
If you insist.
I do. He turns around on his heel and kind of marches back.
I hop down.
All right. So
What is it? What is the deal?
You are allowed in under supervision. So
I don't like supervision.
I know. I know this. But it's the only way to make this work. So I'm going to need everyone to be perhaps a bit more cooperative than usual. If we want to, make out of this with any sort of
Benefit.
Exactly. Yes, we didn't come all this way for nothing, right? If all they're asking is a good behavior, then is that so much to ask?
It is for me sometimes.
I
know myself. And sometimes when I see something that I want, I just gotta take it. So I'll do my best, but I'm not making any promises.
And what of the vehicles?
Well, maybe that's our solution. I don't necessarily want to say Gus should stay out and watch the vehicles, but if he wanted to, I mean, that's up to him. I mean,
Gus is like,
would we like to leave
looks at
Lulu
one
with
hand,
him?
then looks at another hand.
Steal stuff.
These hands were made for stealing.
I was disappointed, Lulu, the little Hollyphant, if she would like to stay. And
If I am gonna stay, I'm gonna want company. So this little elephant stays with me, okay?
flies down, and she engulfs you with her little ears, and it's like, hey!
Yeah, I like you. And he like pats her on the head. Okay, yeah, Gus will stay.
Oh, brilliant.
All right. There's a small number of other infernal vehicles nearby. They look much better adorned. One of which bears a they don't have the armor eaten through them with acid. One in particular is this very shiny black metal. It looks to be the same kind of model as yours. It looks like a tormentor. And it's got the insignia you've seen before of a halo on fire across the side of it. And then there's another one of the same model, but it's got a sword pointed downward on it instead.
I don't like where this is going or implying already.
So
This
if you'd
is
like
really
to
Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto Hell Edition. No.
if you would like to park your vehicles in the appropriate spots, you may do so.
Don't forget the
Gus is
parallel
going to
park.
no. Gus is gonna make sure to take up 2 parking spaces
Hell yeah.
with his.
Just add a 45-degree angle.
Just kind of scooted in.
Barnaby's is very up to code. I'll have you know.
It's like perfectly symmetrical in between the lines.
in there.
All right. So those of you who will be entering may follow the fire giants. Stand aside. Go walk back through the entrance and head out of sight. As you all enter with the accompaniment of the Bone Devils, there's kind of a few main areas. So firstly is this grand entryway. This archway is massive. It's clearly made for the giants who work here. It is sized appropriately for them, and in addition, it would be fairly easy to drive infernal machines in and out of this zone. The entrance itself is this grand circular chamber that if you it stands on the edge of a much larger pit, and you can see this big carved stone disc effectively that is the entryway. Looks out and down into the cavernous volcano proper, in which it appears the forge itself has been set up. All around the cavern below are these massive anvils. They're 10 feet wide and probably roughly 10 feet tall, with all manner of steel and quenching baskets and bellows and other assorted forging equipment. Most of them are occupied by a similarly adorned chained fire giant hammering away at something or other. Above this cavernous area, kind of hanging over the main forge, is this dark machine thing. Barnaby, you saw into an infernal machine previously. You kind of looking at the mechanics. It looks something like that. But whereas a lot of the machine you looked at was made out of semi-organic parts, it was kind of made out of scavenged and scrounged pieces. This looks to be entirely made out of the metals forged here. A much more precise machine, all things considered. And it also looks very much unfinished. There are two main exits. Well, I suppose there are three if you want to jump directly into the cavern. But there are two primary exits from the entryway itself. One into the rest of the mountain. And through that archway, you can see kind of a large, I'm going to say warehousey area, a big flat open zone that's filled to the brim with racks and racks and racks of weapons, and you see a few vehicles in there as well. Through this entryway and into this room, you see lots of little imps scurrying in. There's a desk at the front near the entrance of this room, and each imp typically comes in with a scroll, hands it to the desk, to the figure at the desk, who is this large, kind of gluttonous looking, kind of globby creature with a tiny pair of glasses perched on a small face and teeny little wings on their shoulders, who looks at the scrolls, pulls out a tray with these two big stamps in it, and like crunches it onto the sheet, hands it back to the imp, who scurries into the armory and typically comes back out with one or two items.
Zalski, you forgot to file your paper. Oh, I love them already.
The other exit is a set of stairs, or rather two sets of stairs side by side, one made for the feet of typical medium-sized creatures and one made of the massive slabs necessary to get the fire giants up and down into the forge. Set in the... Yeah, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable... That's an amount of information. So, as you're brought into the entrance here, the Bone Devils kind of stand upright around the small group and gesture toward another one off toward the entrance to the forge. They speak briefly in tones you can't quite hear before the most recent one walks up to you, Advocate, and says, I will bring you to see the one whomst has summoned you.
Oh, cool. We're playing that game. Yeah. Yes, and my companions will be seen too?
Here. They will be here.
Very well.
Are you...
Sorry, go on.
No, please.
Well, I was assuming since you and Advocate were all buddy-buddy forever that you would be going with them.
Exactly my train of thoughts. Thank you, Monsieur Barnaby. I'm glad to hear such kind words out of you.
Don't think anything.
Truly sorry that circumstance and apparently rules are preventing you from joining me, but Advocate just kind of gestures to the giant bone devils and it's like,
Sounds like you are very sorry indeed.
I don't know what to tell you. Listen, everything will work out. He crosses his heart and holds up his hand and is just like, promise.
I still don't know why you brought us here. It seems it seems only you have things to gain here, if I may be so bold, Ambassador.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. All right?
It's Arliss will just kind of like pull Advocate in just a little bit and like whisper in his ears. I am not contractually obligated in this place right now. If anything happens, and that is final.
No, certainly not, and nothing will happen. I mean, listen, I'm going to say this very bluntly. You and I are safe here.
We will speak more about this later. Let's him go. Dust him off. So he'll just kind of like start wandering around and just like inspecting like some things around the area instead.
The Bone Devils are keeping a close eye on the two of you, and the third New Youth Advocate is like, "Come, we must move."
Well, Jarla's with us, right?
Correct.
Right. So 3 of us.
3 of us. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm having a good conversation with Barnaby right now. Like, I'll just strike up a conversation like we're great buddies.
Oh,
Barnaby's like
ended with Advocate. Barnaby's my new best friend.
Barnaby's listening out of politeness, but he probably doesn't like anything you're saying.
I'm just having a great conversation about like the architecture of this place. Like, I'm just talking like
Feeling the silence.
enthusiastically. Like, I'm having a great time like trying to like engage you in a conversation.
It's quite too bombastic for my tastes. The mechanism's interesting, although fascinating, although unfinished.
Yeah. So, we can deal with that.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
The Bone Devil turns to you as you and leads you down the stairs into the forge proper, Advocate. And says, "I am Emra."
You'll have to say that one more time for me.
Emra.
Embra. I see, Embra. Well, as
How does one spell that?
ENBRA.
Okay.
I am Advocate. Embra.
Well, this will be very interesting, I believe.
The Advocate's just quiet after that and is just following.
Embra leads you down the steps, and from the forge proper, firstly and most importantly, it gets much, much hotter. The further down you go, temperatures go from the slightly uncomfortable heat of up above to upwards of 80, 90, 100 degrees very, very quickly. I have another very important question for you, which is, does this matter to you, Advocate?
Probably only barely.
Only barely?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably like this whole time I think Advocate has been like actually mostly comfortable, and now it's just starting to get actually uncomfortable.
Okay. Good to know. Secondly, from the forge itself, you can see another set of stairs going further down to the base of where this volcano sits. It lies just above the magma. It's a large stone disc, much like the entryway, except in this area there's a throne set into the disc down there, and a number of stands, I would say, or maybe pews all around it, set all around it for additional occupants. Some of which are currently occupied, some of which are not. The throne itself is currently empty.
Okay.
Yes. And I think this is a good point for me to drag you into a different call.
Cool. Where are we moving to? Just like the Discord?
Sure. Well, actually, let's jump to the other...
Hangout?
Yeah, no, Discord is fine.
Discord's fine?
Let's do that.
Just want to mute ourselves on this and hop over.
I'm going to get out of the call because I'm recording, so I
Yeah.
can't listen to the rest of it.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah. I'll mute. Well,
Back in a bit.
yeah.
That's good.
Ooh. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Now we
Okay,
now I can hear
that
you.
was weird. That super did.
That was super weird. Wait, if you're talking, I can't hear you again.
No,
What the heck?
I was just being
Oh.
quiet.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of things to worry about right now.
Yeah. This is a lot.
Okay.
I knew this was going to be a lot, but we.
So you head down onto the platform. This is an area somewhat familiar to you. Though I don't think you've been here so directly before.
Right.
Other than once. So, Ember leads you down, and it's fine. My background's gonna be fucked for this part of the recording, and that's fine. Because I'm no longer recording the thing. It's whatever. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Ember leads you down, and you come around a pillar down the stairs that obscures your view of the throne hall, I'll call it, proper. And when the throne is obscured, once you're on the other side of the pillar, seated in the throne is Belle, as familiar as having been before. This is a devil who is very much the archetype of a devil.
Right.
He is an enormous, pit fiendish humanoid figure with big, long, lanky tail and winged, big leathery wings and a couple of large horns. He wears a belt of heads, most of which are either devilish or humanoid, some of which are still animate in one form or another. And you are brought to the center of the disc. He looks down at you and simply smiles because he is happy to see you.
Why do I doubt that? Yeah, as soon as Advocate is in the center, he will like bend like low at the waist and do a neat bow. Rise up again.
It is good to see you have come, my vassal. It is a unique pleasure being able to greet your servants in person, your extraplanar servants in particular.
Uh, yes, I tried to arrive as soon as I could, given the circumstances.
This is interesting. And you have brought a number of friends as well.
Loosely, in loose terms.
Aren't we all? But insofar as I would like to discuss your goings on, was so delighted to find that you are here on the plane in the interests of myself, as you are of much greater use here than on some mortal city. That's basic politics. It's really here where you can grant the real power. As such, I imagine that is why you've made the pilgrimage yourself. Tired of the local?
My reasons are myriad, my master. I have many reasons to be present. I, as it turns out, I was rather finagled into a position of you know what, with Elturel having been seized. It turns out I got a bit caught up in that whole proceeding.
A shame.
Oh well,
No.
no, not a shame. It just new opportunities to try and show my devotion.
That's a convenient way of looking at it. As such, I wonder. I have tasks for you, certainly, if you should choose to execute them. Though I would like to hear more of your own ambitions as to align them with my own more conveniently.
Well, perhaps it will interest you to know that my companions are not simple denizens of Elturel, but I know for a fact that 3 of them are going to make attempts to reclaim the city.
Curious.
And while alone they are ill-equipped, together they are vexing.
Convenient. Although, you understand, you may or may not, my relationship with our current archdevil, the ex-angel Zariel. We, though I am contractually very much an assistant and servant of the archdevil of this plane, I am interested in ambitions beyond my current status. You are not yet fiendish fully. You are outside of the hierarchy, technically. And while a vassal of me, you are something of a vassal of them, but more loosely. This is convenient.
Oh,
Oh, very much so. I would love it if you, given the opportunity, were able to become their servants as well. Get me someone on the other side. Now, obviously, they and I have many spies among either of us that both of us know of in one form or another, though you are in a unique position of mortality, something I know is desirable. So, if you so see yourself in a position to ingratiate yourself with them, I would appreciate it if you took it. It is useful for me to have someone there.
I see.
I know that your magic has been coming along rather well in the meantime.
I mean, entirely thanks to you, my master.
I know. So, are you currently proficient in any telepathy magic? Any distant communication?
Okay. I mean, I'm adept at ingratiating myself to people. I can make people like me.
A simple yes or no will suffice.
I'll say no. Not quite.
Then a warning should you obtain some. As one who was previously the Archdevil of the Plane is privy to telepathic thought. So, if you communicate long distance or short distance, there is a chance they may obtain what you speak.
Oh my.
Do not contact me on these matters in such a way.
I see. Then how should I?
The written word and the spoken are most convenient. The imps run wild on the plane, as you should know, and should you contract one for simple delivery, they will not charge you.
I see. Wonderful.
As such, you have acquired a convenient troop of individuals, and I have tasks as would be convenient for them to accomplish for me, which mine own servants cannot.
Should we not do away with them then?
Not immediately. Surely these tasks are not particularly secured, safe, non-life-threatening, one might say, but I do believe they can be quite useful, especially as they, again, fall outside of the typical hierarchy. Acquisitions and individuals beyond the reach of Asmodeus are a valuable tool. And if you can convince them under not so under oath, then such interactions will be non-recorded.
I begin to see the bigger picture. I have some concerns of my own, mostly in that, well, my manipulations only work so far, and I'm quickly losing trust with them. And frankly, should they decide that I'm no longer trustworthy, they are going to, well, there won't be much I can do at that point. And the stronger they get, I really do think that they have a chance of ruining some things. They have a Holophant with them.
Let's ensure they ruin what we want them to ruin, then. Zariel's plans with Elturel will give them significant advantage over my own forces. I will require some meddling in that. If they so want to free the city, I do not wish them to stop.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. Then I can work with that then.
Good. Though, you must know, Zariel's enemies are not fond of as such. It is... Zariel's enemies are typically briefly lived. So make your treachery silent.
I certainly. I feel that goes without saying.
In accordance, I have some tasks would be convenient for them to accomplish for me and for you to accompany them on. And I will say, should they not agree, well, then we don't have to leave them standing. I fully intend for this group to do as I wish.
Certainly. I will accommodate as best as I can.
Wonderful. Then I wish you to retrieve them. As such, we can plan together.
Down to here.
Correct.
Very well. All right.
On your way.
Advocate will take his dismissal and leave.
All right. Rad.
Rejoining the others.
Yes.
Cool.
I like that this is the point where you drop back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So much
That
has
was-
happened.
That was a really perfect full circle
That
moment.
really was a perfect
Yeah.
circle. Oh my god.
I have no context for what, like.
And you won't.
Don't
you
worry,
won't get
Eli
me.
recorded it.
Yeah.
Eli recorded it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was a theological debate turned into like personal life, turned into coronavirus in our work jobs, and then back to the theological debate. Like that's exactly what it is.
Well,
Now I just need to know where the file went after I stopped recording. I don't know where it went.
Rip.
All right. So, Advocate returns with the accompaniment of Embra. What have you all been up to?
We had a pretty good debate actually. Like it's just the three of them kind of standing around and like having a pretty civil debate actually.
about where souls go after die, specifically the fate of the souls of non-believers and whatnot. Or at least that's what we're gonna call
Like
it.
that was exactly what we were talking about.
Fascinating.
And it was actually a really civil discussion.
And the
For the three of
merits of organized religion,
Exactly.
which-
Exactly.
so deep.
or at least most of that. Although that was mostly coming from Yarlo, who made a wonderful, wonderful advocate, a wonderful, wonderful advocate.
Very good points, yes.
You know, for as much as I personally hate religion sometimes, I understand why it's needed.
Yeah.
For some
I went
people,
from a super religious character to someone who says, haha, fuck them gods. Like, it's infuriating. Because I want to
Hilarious.
go full Dahlia.
Absolutely hilarious.
Ah.
And what? So Cole,
Mhm.
how have the demons who have been watching us, have they reacted at all to our
Devils,
theological
relevantly.
conversation?
In only so far as you sure are talking. And
Do they know common?
They do.
Okay.
Oh.
Or they bone devils. I believe they so they speak infernal and then can communicate telepathically. So I don't think they actually typically speak common.
Hmm.
Did they probably do they understand it if someone is speaking in common?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I think it'd
One
be
of them
really
might.
funny if they didn't.
Yeah, I find
Just
that more
hear womp,
entertaining,
womp,
where they're both just
womp,
hear these two
womp,
people
womp.
going back and forth about something.
They hear like a god's name drop and they're like,
All right.
Yes, so Advocate comes back. And kind of like greets you all with just a look on his face. So you're all to come with me for a moment.
Or what, may I ask?
We're all going to have a discussion about what comes next.
Bonk.
For our for our quest, so to speak.
Yarlo definitely cuts in before you're able to say our quest, and he's like, "We've already had that discussion. I don't believe we need to continue having it."
Perhaps if he spoke in less broad and cryptic terms, Ambassador.
Would be helpful.
I listen. Okay, this wasn't exactly how I was expecting things to go, but I'm going to tell you now. This is much better than what I was even imagining. So I need you to work with me here.
Insight. Sorry, if I might. Are you? That's
I mean, you can do insight. I'm going to tell you now that Advocate's being very sincere.
Okay, sorry. 16.
That's good.
I was trying to find a hidden meaning. Yeah, I rolled an 18.
No, Advocate's being very serious right now.
Okay.
Like, but he's trying to convince you, but he's being like this is
Genuine.
sincerely, yeah, this is.
Haha, last name sincerity. I'm in.
ASS.
Arliss believes you. He'll step up and be like, okay.
Yes, thank you.
I hope you know. I hope you know what you're doing.
If I didn't, then we wouldn't be here. So, let's move on. No, he'll start to lead the way back down.
Sure. Yeah, you head back down. Yeah, so those of you heading down the steps can now see the disc of stone at the bottom of the volcano, with a throne currently occupied by a tall, red winged figure. I should have an image for this somewhere. Boop. Good old Google Images. Boop, 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 boop. Boop.
Yeah, that's pretty much the one I was thinking of too.
Oh. Huh.
I'm sorry, Eli. The look on your face right now.
That sure is like a big ol' classic demon with
Devil.
fires.
Excuse you.
Shut up. Devil with a fire sword and a face on its breastplate and a belt of heads.
Correct. So, as you head down the steps, you enter this. It sits at the bottom of the collective rest of the forge, and there's the throne at one end upon which sits this particular devil, and around you are these curved stands at which a plethora of little, smaller, lesser devils sit, kind of observing this. It appears to be some sort of court, all things considered. And Belle, who is this devil, smiles down at you.
This is Belle!
And greets the collective of you to say, "Hello, friends. Welcome to the Forge, wherein the core of the Blood War is fought. As you know, you cannot defeat demons with faulty equipment, and that is what our job is here. Lovely to meet all of you. I have been notified by our good friend, gestures to Advocate, that I may be of some assistance to you. I understand that you all are interested in liberating the currently encaptured city of Elturel. Is that correct?
Correct.
Wonderful. I would adore assisting you with this task. And as such, I have a number of tasks that may aid you should you choose to engage with them. Particularly, a number of items I believe you could recover for me to assist in the disassembling of that wretched contraption keeping it trapped here.
The contraption, do you by any chance mean the companion?
The chains.
The chains?
The orb.
The companion.
It is what keeps the physical location rooted to this place. The chains help, of course, but it is the sphere truly that keeps it here. I would like to reacquire a number of parts that will assist in unlocking and disassembling this contraption.
Eli's having some problems.
If you would be so kind as to acquire them for me.
Advocate to the group just kind of gestures and is like, I, of course, have already readily agreed to this, but in the end, it is up to you all.
I'm really, really sorry, but the internet gave out for me, and I missed literally all of that. Just sum it up quickly.
Yeah, we've been tasked with. He wants to help us. We've been tasked with getting specific items for him, though.
And what will we gain from? And what will we gain from this?
You wish to save Elturel, don't you?
Naturally, but consorting with someone whose intentions, if I may be so bold, are not entirely known.
I will remind you, you are in my court.
Barnaby,
wheezing.
Respectful, please. He is trying to help.
Yeah, I'm gonna just elbow Barnaby like hard because I think you're wearing your breastplate.
Yeah.
So like you're probably gonna hear the thunk and be like necessary evils, Barnaby. Necessary evils.
So be it.
Additionally, I certainly would be willing to aid you in both this task and in future tasks. I am the one who produces the equipment, after all. So I can certainly
generous.
equip you more effectively. Now, I have a couple of offers here. So I am looking for a set, 6 to be precise, adamantine rods. They were stolen from me some time ago, and I need you to recover them for me. I know not personally where they are, but I do know of one who does. We've captured a particular abyssal creature who is filled with knowledge, one might say, a veritable piñata of knowledge. Though I would require assistance in interrogating it.
Oh.
So, if you should so like, perhaps it may know other things of use to you. I care not what you choose to do beyond obtaining the information of where my rods are. So, if that's acceptable, I will supply you with transportation to said creature. And upon completion, if you should desire, I've noted you have a number of, to say, shoddy vehicles along with you. I believe I can upgrade, repair, bring them up to even a base level of competency for you, if that would be so useful for you. Would that be useful for you?
I certainly. And Advocate looks to the others and is like, yes, certainly.
Absolutely.
Gus isn't there, but Gus thinks the acid and shit looks kind of badass.
and in exchange, I will aid in constructing the keys to disassemble the companion.
Will we be signing a contract for
No.
this, Lord Bell?
I believe it unnecessary, though I will remind you, you are in my court. And, as such, my agents exist throughout the plains.
Of course.
I mean, I would say that our word is our honor. No, I mean, you are rather noble, Barnaby. If you say you'll do it, I believe you will.
And who am I to distrust the word of a paladin?
What do I know of Bell? Has Torm ever had interactions with this former Lord of Hell?
Roll history with disadvantage?
So the answer is no.
Okay. One moment.
Oh God.
In the meantime, Bell gestures toward you, Arliss.
Oh, I fail. I get like a 2. I get like a 4.
If you desire proof of our creative strength, I see you've acquired one of our pieces, and gestures toward the shield on your back, Arliss.
Truly.
This is something created long ago, but still, it holds up. It works quite effectively, I should say.
I would agree so. He'll take the shield off and face it towards Belle. Isn't it good to see your creator again? Give it a pat.
You telepathically hear the pit fiend inside it just swearing at you the entire time. Why the fuck did you break? This is an awful idea. This guy sucks. I hate him. Just starts going off.
He says that he's missed you very much, and it's great to see your presence again.
I'm certain.
And I'll put him back. I can definitely vouch for the quality of such an item. It has served me well so far.
If you all would so choose, then I can have transportation arranged. Via barge, you must run down the Styx to reach the creature. It is a Sibriex. I'm not certain if any of you are familiar.
If you could enlighten us any.
There are abyssal creatures, old as the abyss itself, some say. One, this in particular, traveled the fields of Avernus for long before my time, and as such has acquired a unique perspective on the landscape that I think will aid in my acquisition of lost goods.
I see. I am fine with transportation, but would you permit me one question? Or one, I guess, favor? Possibly. Since we are going to be on such good terms now, locating lost items of yours and helping in general while we are here in Avernus, would you permit us access to coming and going to the forge?
The forge, certainly. The armory, I must insist remain restricted.
Please. I would suggest no less. Just not under always constant guard. And you'll back to the bone devil or demon or no devils, I was right. Mm-hmm. Kind of behind us.
I can grant you this. And an imp appears on the platform near all of you, and it's got little badges, each in a little shield with the insignia of the sword pointing down
Perfect. Thank you. Truly, I appreciate it. It just makes it easier for us since not everyone employed under you will know of us. Even though it shouldn't be hard to notice a Loxodon, an SMR, tiefling, a human, a kobold. But I digress.
Live ones, at least.
Exactly.
Should be interesting. And you mustn't, you needs must not do this immediately. I, of course, will generously permit any amount of time as you so choose, though the sooner the better, as in acquisition of your own information, goods, and such.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to seeing your results.
Thank you for putting your trust in us, truly.
Of course. After all, what am I if not a devil of my word?
Absolutely. I also give like a bow, like a proper bow.
Yeah, Advocate will also perform like, you know, the deep bow again, bending at the waist and then standing up straight again.
Wonderful.
Barnaby will nod.
If you have not additional business, I would ask that you vacate my court.
Absolutely. And where shall we find this transport?
Follow the Iron Road. It will lead you directly to the barge.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time, Lord Bell.
Of course.
All right, shall we, everyone? I think our way is set.
Advocate lingers for a moment, but yeah, as everyone begins to shuffle out, he will follow.
All right. So, after an amount of traversal, Advocate, you've climbed these stairs twice now.
Yeah, not liking it too much.
It's a little rough. Those of you who are in the forge, it's hot, and you've been down here for a good while now. I would like you all to make Constitution saves. Since you are wearing heavy armor, Barnaby, I would like you to make such save with disadvantage.
Of course.
Okay, that might actually be good. I don't know. How good is a 14?
14? That passes. You'll be fine.
Well, good. We're good.
Let's see, what is more?
You weren't here for too long.
God, not working out with rolls today. 7.
7? Just passes.
Would you be able to roll for me? Because I am out and about.
Sure.
I can. I have it on me. Oh, never mind.
You're good. So while sweltering, you manage to make it out fine. You don't get too exhausted by the ordeal. So you arrive back in the central platform, seeing that you've been given permissive badges. The Bone Devils leave you be.
Perfect.
Barnaby just physically pulls Advocate aside.
Don't listen. There's no need for manhandling.
Barnaby just has an iron grip on your shoulder. You said that this would be to our benefit. You do realize that you have put me, a paladin of Torm, in the service of a devil.
Not contractually.
You realize what that means.
You've yielded nothing to him.
May I remind you that there are people around who would probably should.
My dignity. You have made the decision for me, Ambassador, to yield my.
You could have opted out. You did have that choice. It was up to you.
Joyce, do you not see the way they were talking? That devil could have smited me with their eyes if they had wanted to. That very place.
Well, then we'll just leave you outside next time we go somewhere, which is, I don't know, everywhere there's going to be devils here. So have fun being by yourself, Barnaby. I don't know what else to tell you.
What on earth do you mean? Not everywhere that we're going to be thrust into the court of an archdevil.
I'm very surprised that you're sticking up for me, Yarlo. I kind of appreciate that right now.
Barnaby just lets you go, but he's just fuming right now.
Avernus's tail just curls around his leg, and he's just kind of
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barnaby.
I'm trying my hardest. This hasn't exactly been easy for me.
In the end, we are doing exactly what you wished, Barnaby. We are saving El Terrell.
Yes, exactly.
This is probably the easiest way to do it. We are getting your city back.
Barnaby's shaking his head, just shaking his head so much. He refuses to listen to you right now.
Nothing of yours has been compromised. All of the burden is mine and mine alone, all right?
How deep? How far? How deep am I going to sink this lot?
We're just aiding a friend with their own pact with the devil, right?
I would think better. I would think better of I would think better of a cleric of Lathander, Yarlo.
Well, that's not the worst thing anybody's said about me, so I feel pretty good.
I don't know what to say. I beg your forgiveness for not being exactly upfront, but I didn't know how you would react, and this was the only way to make sure that everyone got what they wanted.
I will forgive you because I'm a paladin, and I will forgive you because it is my duty, but do not think that I'm at all happy with you.
Well, you are
As a
literally
translation,
the bigger man, so...
As a translation, Barnaby's not mad. He's disappointed.
I didn't think that
Perfect.
would sting as much as it does. All right, if everyone is done being pissed at me...
Whoever said I was pissed at you?
You seem
I am hurt.
Well, you have my apologies as well, but I made my promise and I stuck to it. Everything worked out in the end, no?
I suppose, but we shall speak more of this, you and I, later.
Sure, certainly.
Well, and we're not quite at the end of the road yet, so I wouldn't say it's all worked out for the best. You never know.
Well, this part worked a lot better than
Things are looking up, at least.
Yes, the bright
True and
side,
fair.
silver lining.
At the very least, we have an objective now. One that seems plausible.
We should probably let Gus know what our new situation is.
If any of you have more business here, you may. Otherwise, I will return to Monsieur Gus and let him know.
Advocate will just kind of follow after. There's nothing left to do, really.
Yes,
All right, are we all done here?
pretty much.
If you so choose.
That.
All right. So you exit the forge. Your vehicles are on standby. Gus, how have you and Lulu been hanging out?
It's been very good. Gus, when you guys return, you see Gus is holding out his short sword, and Lulu has a dagger wrapped in her little.
Oh my
Yeah!
god!
And he's teaching her how to stab. So he's teaching her great things.
They're like just
Good.
stabbing the dirt.
Yeah. It's just like he's showing her like this is how you do it.
I think you start teaching her, and then she just kind of like she holds it in her little trunk, and then she just starts like drawing in the sand, and then like a flower.
She goes like, no. It's like this.
Stabs the flower.
She cries a little bit. You have to comfort her.
You can both have inspiration.
Right.
Delightful. Yeah. So, what would you like to do?
I suppose we're getting on this barge, or I guess we're letting them fix our rides. I don't know how long that's going to take.
Right.
I imagine some amount of time.
Or was fixing our rights dependent on our completion?
Notably, Lulu was informed that we were headed toward the sword previously.
That is
or toward the sword after visiting the forge.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. She's like, so what next?
The sword.
Well, Lulu, there has been an unfortunate turn of events. It would seem that in order to free El Terrell, that we are required to go in a different direction before we go towards the sword. I wish differently, but I believe that I am outnumbered in this wish.
But we'll get to the sword.
Eventually. Yes, we will. I promise you, Lulu, we will eventually reach the sword.
She gives a little firm nod and says,
Barnaby also nods. Elephant solidarity.
Right.
Trunk bros.
Alright, I'll be right back.
All right.
Does Lulu get to keep the dagger?
Yeah.
I think
Very.
she
It's just like a very just normal dagger.
I think she just likes to hold it in her trunk because it makes her feel busy and important.
There's a really good line from, I believe it's Silent Hill 3, where the protagonist, if you inspect the pocket knife in the protagonist's inventory, it's just like, I just like carrying this around because it gives me a little thrill. And I feel like that's the same attitude of Lulu with a knife.
What are you holding? A knife. No! Good.
Yeah. So
Yarla would definitely be the one screaming no in that situation.
yes, wonderful.
Drawing more pictures in the sand.
Yeah, so there are a pair of the image popped in my head, so I'm gonna have to go with it. There are a couple of bearded devils come out of the forge with like overalls and like tools and like a hat.
Yes.
And they come out and there's like, well, we're here to fix up the vehicles. We'll have to. We're gonna take it inside. Is that all right?
I suppose so. I mean, if you have to, you have to.
Did we die?
Equipment's in there. Not yet.
Okay, cool.
They're gonna fix up our
Fix up our stuff.
All right.
Our friendly Jiffy Lube employees.
You got everything you need out of them.
Gus takes the compass shard piece from it before he left.
Okay. And all right, I'll see you later. And they like get in and like turn them on and drive them through the archway into. They turn into the armory section and then turn out of sight. There's an imp I was gonna say spawns. That that appears nearby, and just kind of like approaches. It just like walks up, just like, "Hello, I'm Balakros. I'm here to lead you to the barge."
Oh.
We don't need our vehicles.
No, it's just this way, and he points down the road.
How far down the road?
Oh, ways, probably like half a mile.
Oh, that's fine.
I mean, it's more than I would like to walk, but beggars can't be choosers. So,
Would you prefer I carry you?
are you offering?
Piss off, that's what.
Advocate thinks that's hilarious.
While we're walking there, I guess Gus is going to like stealthily like put the compass shard into Advocate's hand again.
Oh.
So it's in his possession.
Thank you. I will pocket it.
Yeah. Balakros is just like, just doing his job, walking down the road.
He's doing the Balakros.
It is about half a mile, and the road leads down to the bank of the river Styx, nearby, at which is a small encampment. There's much more armament, many more armed devils here. Not so much of the higher tier. There's the more like infantrymen of the devilish army, all bearing Bel's armor, which is the downward sword. And there's a barge stationed there. There is a bearded devil on the barge with a long pole, ready to get moving. And Balakros kind of walks up and is just like, "We're here to see the Symbrex." And the bearded devil is just like, "Oh, cool." And it like lowers the ramp to get so that everyone can get onto the barge.
File on. March.
When Barnaby gets on, does it give a hearty
like there's a bit of a teeter, but it is given that this barge has carried much heavier than Barnaby. It manages. I'm just like, all right, is everybody ready to go? Refreshments will not be served. All right.
Please keep all.
Go. And like shoves the pole into the ground and starts pushing it forward.
Such enthusiasm.
The bearded devil's pole thrusts are particularly long. You don't really get a sense for how long it is, but they only pick it up to move it once every like 100 feet or so. And when they pull it out, they have to like raise it way up so that they can put it back down in front of them. Another thing you notice is that you're fighting the current of the Styx.
Ooh.
Which is not particularly strong to begin with. It's a fairly languid river in that it flows rather slowly, but you are going up the river Styx rather than down the river Styx. They continue to haul you down the Styx as you or haul you up the river Styx. As you travel, you see several more encampments along the sides of the river. Once every mile or so, you note that there's a new grouping of devils, usually one on either side of the river, standing at attention. They don't appear particularly interested in your barge, other than would be a bunch of bored infantry folks would be interested in literally anything happening around them. As you head up, you go on for, it's a long ride. I'm gonna say it's close to 3-4 hours, at a pretty steady pace moving up the river. It's very slow at first, but once you start really getting into a rhythm against the current, you start moving quite quickly. It appears the devil guiding you is more stronger than they appear. They got hella biceps. They're really trucking this barge along.
But I guess while we have time, Arliss, since we'll be stuck here for a minute, did you want to discuss anything?
Actually, I think we do. Cole, stop smiling like that. I just see you like.
I figured it was time you berated me as well.
I do not need to berate you as much as you already have been. With things as they are between you and I in our formal agreements, I've required some sort of trust from you. I hope that we do not need to keep secrets from one another. For it would be mutually beneficial for both of us.
How do you propose we move forward then? I mean, you now know, the one thing that I've been a bit quiet about. I serve Belle. That's no secret now. I think we can get that out of the way.
No, for sure. That did come as a surprise, for sure. I guess my one question for that is, how well can we trust them?
Here's something you need to understand about devils in general, and especially
Please.
powerful ones.
Please.
While you have no formal contract between yourselves and Belle, there is... Word is a kind of contract. There is a verbal agreement. And I have a written contract. One it's bound by the laws of devils and magic. Should anything happen, there's no defying it. There's no... It will happen.
Absolute.
The clauses
it is
will
absolute.
happen.
Yes. I understand that bit.
If you have the promise of a devil, then almost certainly you will have it. While loopholes exist, it would be rather foolish of Bell to try and... I don't know. This is to his advantage. He has no reason to pull the wool over anyone's eyes on this.
That is understandable. I have no reason not to believe you. At the end of the day, I truly don't have any reason not to believe you. I would hope that you are being truthful with me, starting from when we met to now. And I hope we can continue this sort of honesty between the two of us for as long as we are here.
Certainly. I mean, if you have any questions, simply ask. I will do my best to answer, honestly, sincerely. It's in the name.
Truly. It worries me, I will say, when you do go on your own, for I do not know what will happen, even if you are just the company of your patron.
Well,
At the end of the day, it is still a devilish lord, and I can't overlook that fact.
No, I understand. I suppose I can put you at ease now about what what the purpose of all of that was. Now that the truth is out, I have contractual obligations, obviously. Ones that require a certain amount of giving. See, devils like physical things, tangible things. They are not of mortal flesh. So you give, and they give back. That's how it works.
So what else is it that you need to get for Belle then?
I'm currently working off a running debt. But I'll reassure you now that that will have very little to do with our contract.
I see. But I will go ahead as long as you keep your end of our deal. I will help you in any way I can with yours.
You know, I would like to help you, but I need you to help me help you. I still don't exactly understand what it is that you need. You're after something. I just don't quite know what.
I am looking for a beast.
Beast. Well, there's many of those.
I am looking for a specific beast. A beast that has answers to my questions. One I gave you before. Why?
Right.
The question, I will give you one more. Why am I still alive?
Oof. Is that all?
In ways, the less you know, the safer you are.
Oh, I dislike that. But
I truly wish that it would be easier. I would love to sit down and talk to you as a therapist and say all the history family traumas. Truly. But that would benefit neither of us.
Oh, but I do love gossip.
Someone called me a gossip girl. A gossip gal.
Perhaps has like his fingers like laced together on his like chin. He's
Yeah.
leaning forward.
Perhaps if we were in just the company of you and I, away from other ears, perhaps I could tell you a little more. Although I do fear I may have said too much already.
One of you has access to silence.
Correct.
What does that do?
It just eliminates all sound within an area.
It just makes a bubble. Well, I will wait patiently for that time.
Of course. But at the end of the day, nothing has changed in my regard. And I hope nothing for you.
No, I feel much the same. I went into this, with the arrangement in mind, and nothing has changed at all. So,
absolutely. A pleasure as always. Now, shall we get to the others? I believe maybe some discussion before we go into, well, more discussions. +1.
Sure.
Absolutely. What has everyone else been doing while we've just been like in the back having this conversation? Has everyone else just kind of like been sitting?
Gus, he's been
listening in.
No. He's been kind of off on his own. a little bit. He's kind of thinking about. He has a lot of things on his mind, basically.
Stuff on his mind.
Yes.
Got a lot on my mind. It's hilarious. He's just thinking about cool cars. Yeah.
Cool cars.
Damn, I really want a BMW.
Barnaby's just still trying to work off steam in a bit. He's not in a talkative mood right now.
Perfect.
I just heard a weird ping.
Me too.
Oh wait, that's Yarlo is letting the breeze hit his skin up on top. the warm, humid, nasty, like Styx breeze.
Perfect.
Fun.
All right.
Perfect. Good talk. Go team.
Anyone else has any
good talk.
questions for me?
My recording might have been a little fucked for a little bit.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Uh-oh.
The audio was fine. The video was weird. It shouldn't be a problem.
Actually,
Is Gus gonna take me up on that offer?
Where are those messages being sent?
It's in
it's in
Google
the
Hangout.
Yeah,
I
it's
see.
yeah.
But not like the chat.
yeah, it's in
Not
like
the chat,
Hangouts,
like the
Yeah, I
actual.
see.
Hangouts.google.
Gus was listening in very ever so slightly on your guys' conversation.
That's my boy.
You're vaguely involved. Might as well let you eavesdrop. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should send Thorn the contract because they technically signed it.
Oh yeah, did we let Thorn witness the contract?
No.
Or I mean, did Gus sign as a witness?
No, you actually just took you two aside. I was like there, and I know that it exists.
We've
But
been
I
in
don't
this
know the
contract and it's
specifics.
not even valid yet. Send them the contract.
Yeah, I can send you the contract and then you'll know what the fuck is going on. Jesus. Germany.
It'll seem kind of weird at the start. I'm just gonna say that now.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, Gus has questions for Advocate, like on just like other things. Besides, like, sure, this contract, but just like after hearing that conversation, he has questions about other things with Advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share that to you.
Is it just for Advocate or Arliss as well?
Really, just for Advocate, only
Okay.
because he just heard that like that Advocate is like serving Val in a way.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
He has questions.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that now in your Discord.
Disquad.
Have fun reading.
Do you have
It's if you
a
scroll
more
down
legible?
yeah, it's
At the
Okay.
bottom. It's at the bottom.
Thank you.
Gotta have that fancy text for
that one's just
fancy
for fun. The
people.
bottom one is actually like functional.
I also, I kind of like the idea that Gus just doesn't know how to read it because it's in such fancy script that he just signs it anyways.
Fair.
But he has no idea what it actually says.
Funny. I love the idea of everyone sitting in tense silence after all of that. Just like, well,
Congrats!
Fun.
One of our serves!
You annoyed everybody else. You
Everyone just
annoyed
did
me.
You did it!
I'm glad everyone's having a good time.
Hold on, do I have something fun that I can do with Lulu in the meantime?
I mean, Lulu's just having fun in general.
I want to see if I have, like, a fun, like, game that we can play.
Teach Lulu how to play, like, X's and O's.
Honestly.
So, while things are happening, your barge master is continuing to truck along, and you note you're coming up on what looks like another dock. likely your destination, which is a pair of very large encampments. They also appear to be beside, oddly enough, you see heavy black fog start covering the sticks, where you see these encampments set up. And you cannot actually see further down the river Styx than that. These two encampments are set up near the edge of the fog toward the mouth of the river, and appear to be very heavily fortified. You see, in addition to simple infantry, pit fiends, which are the big winged devils, in addition to and a number of flighty devils, the barbed devils. And it appears to be coming up. Arliss, you feel your needle get hot.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, thank you.
And even despite the spike.
Which one?
Do you have two?
I technically don't, because I have one that can go in like 2 places.
Right. It is drawing you toward 2 places, but you have one needle.
Okay.
And you, even without it being balanced on a spike for proper directional orientation, you can feel it being pulled toward this fog very strongly.
Okay.
Oh man, we're going all sorts of places.
We might have to have that conversation real soon, apparently.
Oh dear.
All right, Gus has signed the contract
Thank you, Gus.
Finally, we're
as a witness.
Finally.
As an witness.
singular.
All right.
How'd you enjoy it, Thorn?
An interesting contract.
Is there anything else you would like to do before disembarking the barge?
Can you see literally nothing through the fog?
No. It goes from, oh, that's pretty foggy, to black, cannot see through it.
And there's nothing else coming out of it, like no noises, no like other like feelings.
It is
it's just
eerily silent.
Okay. All right, that's all I need. Thank you.
That's ominous.
Are we exiting the barge then?
Yes.
I believe so.
All right.
I'll leave last.
Okay. The barge master docks the barge on one side of the encampments, and firmly roots it before setting down the bridge to cross onto the land. The encampments are bustling. They're very busy. There are several guards watching the river very attentively. But you are brought, specifically Balakros leads you through these down a central path to a place near the back of the encampment, where there is there's roughly a 30-foot radius of absolutely no one and absolutely nothing, except for this big, weird mound of flesh that is just oozing liquids down onto the ground beneath it. And you can see these big, thick chains wrapped around it that are pinning it down to this big metal plate that's been attached to the ground. I do have an image.
Jesus.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. I think Advocate will kind of aside to the people leading
Oh.
us there. Is someone leading us to this?
It's so much worse than I even imagined,
Oh
actually.
dear.
Balakros. The image.
Oh, Balakros is still leading us. Okay. Is this
Something I can do for you?
is this the thing we're interrogating?
This is the Sibriex.
Oh, God.
Oh my.
What does it speak our language?
It speaks many languages. I believe literally all of them.
Okay. I was
Meh.
afraid I'd have to be doing all the talking.
If I may,
I
how's
think I'm the only one that speaks Abyssal here.
if I may, how long has it been here? How long has it been since you've captured it?
We've held it for, I don't know, probably half a century, roughly.
How has it, and what is his attitude towards everybody here?
Well, I would be hard pressed to say that it's happy.
So, and how, if we were to enter the circle, would we be in any danger?
Yes, definitely.
Hmm.
But luckily, you won't be the only ones.
Hmm.
And you notice there's a pair of chain devils who appear primarily humanoid, except they are just completely covered in wrapped in like rusted chains. Most of them come down in hooks, and they occasionally, every time they're kind of like watching the Cybriacs, and once in a while they like whip out an arm and a chain like lashes out and like adjusts slightly to keep it tightened down. In addition to an Arcanoloth, if you're familiar, it's kind of a foxy person who's got this like very sullen expression, carrying this very thick spell book bound in some kind of odd material. Who has a like vocal trumpet, like a megaphone basically, but it's a little bit curved. And it's like shouting at the Cybrics, just like, "Hello, yes, tell me everything you know about the Yugsaloths." And then like the Cybriacs is just kind of like babbles incoherently in 5 different languages. And then like goes silent, and the Arcanoloth just like sighs and like writes a few things down in their notebook in the spell book that they're carrying.
Oh, this all seems rather tedious.
Trust me, it is, says the Arcanoloth, who you are now fairly close enough to communicate with. We've been at this for so long now, and it's simply it is an obtuse way of obtaining information, but it is consistently accurate.
Hard to argue with that, then.
How, so the information it has given you, has it always been truthful? How much has it resisted?
All the time, just constantly. But it's all when it gives information, the information is usually accurate.
How does one speak to it?
With your voice, preferably.
Everyone should note that Yarlo has cast Comprehend Languages.
I saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure that everyone saw that.
So, Barnaby will yell, "Hello there, friend. Do you go by a name?"
It doesn't respond.
Believe me, I am most likely one of the, besides my friend Yarlo, the only friendly voice you will find here. The only one who would rather see who would perhaps not rather see you out of those chains, but not as perhaps in inhospitable conditions as you currently are.
You know little if you wish for this to be free, says the Arcanoloth, and it's just like, this will not. You need to be much more prescient than this. This thing doesn't respond to just requests. It's not. You're gonna have to do some. I don't know why you're here or what you would like, but like, geez.
If I might be so, we might need someone a little more blunt than you, Barnaby. You rather like to dance around the topic, and I don't think we're trying to befriend this thing so much as just get anything from it.
Gus is going to ask. Oh yeah, he's going to ask Avacat, what are we trying to get? What information are we trying to get out of him?
Oh, we need to know where the stolen rod of I forget what the material was.
6 adamantine rods.
Adamantine rods.
How
They were
many?
pulling
There's
from,
6?
6.
6.
So we're trying to discern the location of those. And apparently this knows where at least one of them is. So and I'll kind of like do you know the whereabouts of Belle's stolen adamantine rods?
Of course. That was the Arcanoloth voice. Of course.
Oh, that sounds painful. Oh.
Please describe their location.
You wish.
Oh, well. What can we do to make you give away their location?
Free me.
Oh, that's not happening. Be reasonable.
No.
Alrighty, listen here, you sack of shit.
Sack of flesh.
This is not inaccurate.
You know where the 6 stolen adamantine rods are. And I know you know at least one of them.
Correct.
So you better start talking, or I'm going to start stabbing, alright?
I refuse.
I don't take no for an answer. He's going to pull out his short sword.
Please do be careful. I think this thing might just absolutely swallow you whole, Gus.
Gus is just trying to be as intimidating for a small...
Sure, go ahead and make an intimidation check.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
Alright, that's good. Alrighty. Plus... Intimidation? Yeah. 23.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Let's see what +7 whiz will do.
Oh, God.
Well, it's not a 23. It kind of like rattles in its like confinement. It's I'm gonna say 4 or 5 or so of its eyes lock onto the blade that you're holding, and it kind of like squints at you for a moment and just goes like, "I'm interested." That's a hard voice to do.
Yeah, don't strain yourself.
I'm interested in the small one.
Good, because I'm pretty interesting. A lot of people say I'm interesting. So, I heard you know where one of the locations of the adamantine rod is.
I will give it to you if you allow me to adopt your form.
No. All right.
That's a no.
Don't agree to that. Do not agree to that. Gus, I'm telling you right now, do not agree to that. That is red flags all over it, all over the place. Let me try something.
Gus is going to just give him like a side eye and take 2 steps back, still holding his sword out. I'll get back to you on that offer.
Arletz will like take kind of like 1/2 step in front of you.
Advocat is going to cast Charm Person on this thing.
Okay.
Is it a person?
I mean,
It's intelligent.
Yeah.
It is intelligent. That is correct.
So all it needs to do is make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. DC?
14.
Okay. That is a 3 + 7 is a 10.
Okay, so it
lucky.
fails.
It does fail.
It regards me as a friendly acquaintance.
For a minute.
It does have advantage. So I get
No, actually, my duration is an hour.
Oh shit.
So.
Okay, you got lucky twice. Fair.
Let's try this again.
Hello, squishy one.
Oh my gosh.
I hate
Okay.
that. I hate that.
Let's try this again. You know where an adamantine rod is.
Oh.
Okay. Please disclose their locations to me, dear friend.
They lie on the ship fallen from the sky.
Ship fallen. What? Okay.
The ship fallen from the sky.
Ship fallen from the sky. Have you more details?
To the east, past the monument to greed.
Monument to greed. Is there anything else you know? Who stole the rods? Do you know?
Yes.
Did you steal them?
No, I've been here for 50 years.
That sounds interesting.
An instant in my lifetime. You will die before I even think again.
Oh gosh.
Interesting. Your brain is really that empty then.
Simply fast.
The answer is yes.
Who stole the rods?
It eyes its captors. It eyes the Chain Devils and the Arcanoloth, and then looks back at you, and kind of it appears to be hesitating.
If you are under undue pressure, I'm sure. This is interesting. Why would you hesitate?
There are powers greater than my captors.
You know what? I'll spare you the possible punishments of disclosing too much. We'll figure it out.
I'm certain.
Why would they want these rods?
Can
Do
I
you know what they do?
can I quickly just say goodbye, everybody? Because I just got to work.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
Good boy.
You
Stay
met.
safe.
Yep. Yeah. What is the purpose of stealing the rods?
To prevent a release.
That's
The
ominous.
city must come down.
Oh, yes. Okay. I see. I'm connecting the dots. Well, I think that's all the information I really needed. If anyone can think of anything else. Well,
Why are you so ugly?
don't be rude.
I was born this way.
How are you
Fair
born?
Ask
What a
your
mama.
mother.
I would if she were here.
If any of you have any questions, I mean, this is your one chance. This only lasts about an hour.
My offer still stands, small one.
I thought I would take that.
Do you know
Gus, no.
about the fog over the Styx?
I do.
What can you tell me about it? In Abyssal, please.
Abyssal?
Wait, that would still comprehend languages, though. Fuck!
Correct. Yarlo would still understand.
Fuck!
Teehee.
I want...
Reveal your secrets.
Several places along the Styx grant an entrance to the abyss.
Ooh. We.
And that is one of them, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Is there a way out once you enter?
Sometimes.
Advocate's a little bit alarmed. It's like, are we
That's
going
all.
to-
Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Arliss. Please, Arliss, are we going to the abyss? What are you talking about?
Arliss just is pointedly ignoring Advocat right now.
I have concerns, Arliss.
In due time. Give me...
We just had conversations about being honest with one another. What happened to that? Just later. Well, okay, later. Fine. Yes. Why must everything be so stressful?
Not in front of our compatriots, Ambassador. Composure.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Anything else? Anything else? This again. I only so much time.
Do we know? It's the thing said east, right? The ship that's
Yeah.
out in the sky. East. Do we know how far east?
Of the monument. We need to figure out where this I have notes. It's east past a monument. A monument to it was a monument to something, and then
Greed.
monument to greed. Okay.
Small one.
No. You cannot have him. I'm sorry, but you just cannot.
The queen wishes to see you.
Gus, you don't wish to see the
My
queen. That's-
immediate eyes just right down to Gus.
Barnaby just squints his eyes and says, what would a queen say?
Gus
as we look
to
like?"
this thing says, "What do you wish to do with my body?"
Make it beautiful.
I don't like this.
In what way?
Flesh is a wonderful clay.
Okay.
Yeah, Gus, you don't know what you're getting into. You back down.
Am beautiful.
Here,
That just
actually,
isn't true.
I have a perfect thing for you, actually. Do you want to look the most gorgeous thing in front of all these devils here?
I already am.
But do you want one thing that they don't?
Your flesh.
Other than that, trust me, this here is better than that. I'm gonna take out like this little like circlet headband thing, and I just want to like kind of reach out to like one of its like weird like fleshy tentacle bits and just like kind of put it on.
Are you getting within 30 feet of it?
Oh shit!
Arliss.
Shit! I forgot there's like a 30 feet thing.
Rethink
Can I like
this.
toss it to it, just kind of like a frisbee,
Make sure you
and see if it like sticks in?
And that exactly happens. So you like hurl it at it, and it like so it hits it, and then you see like the flesh start to warp around it and like suck it into the mass of the rest of the creature. And then you see it reappear above it right on top as like a little circlet.
Oh, how
Wonderful.
You look amazing, darling.
Thank you.
all right. I think I've had
I'm
enough.
done. That's all I needed. That's honestly all I needed. I will mark
Yeah,
off
Gus is-
Arliss's treasures.
Gus says, "Yuck, yuck, no, no," and takes a step back.
Yeah, I think Advocate's just gonna release the spell, and it knows that it's been charmed, so it starts to walk away.
I'm disappointed, but not surprised.
I'm getting a lot of that today, so
At the end of the
Everyone's
day,
disappointed in
you get to keep that circlet of yours.
Neat.
And that is pretty awesome, isn't it? I think that is a fair deal.
It's a solid 2 out of 10.
You can't beat the quality, though.
This is true.
Advocate like 2, the Arcanoloth is just like, it gets some mages out here. That was so easy once we that's a simple spell that was given to me. Like
He's fucking condescending at this Arcana.
I've had it for 50 years, and all it took was a I just had to charm it. That was it.
You understand? We do get information. Voices. We do get information out of it pretty consistently. It's just it takes some time.
More.
I'm out of slots today. Shut up.
Take a short rest, buddy. Come on.
I'm just. It's a suggestion. It's just a suggestion.
Fucking get on your barge.
Yeah. All right. I mean, done and done.
All right. Getting on the barge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Arliss, your needle is hot again.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly, before the barge master starts pushing you back down the river Styx much more quickly now that you're moving with the current rather than against it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably an okay place to call it for tonight.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I have secrets I need to give someone now.
If we want to do that here, or like, how do we want to deal with that?
I figured it's kind of the point that you're just like, we're going into an abyss. I kind of have to.
Pretty much our next conversation was going to be like,
would we prefer that recorded or unrecorded? And also, the recording will include advocates aside.
Mm-hmm.
So and I like having that separate for the session, but I'm also not going to ask you not to listen to it. So if you feel free,
I'm
like,
okay.
if you can if you trust yourself with hidden information, go for it. I'm not going to like police that.
Fair.
Sorry if I was a little
Cops
quiet
suck.
today.
No, it's good.
I'm okay with having that recorded then.
Okay.
The one with me and
Sure.
Hannah.
it's
In
been
that
a couple
case,
sessions coming anyway, so
we could just like roll into that if you'd like.
Okay.
hash it out real quick.
Sure.
Alright.
Do we want to have the other two? But like, it's up to you guys.
I'm just gonna be like, come up to, like beside you and be like,
What the hell?
So if you're planning on just throwing yourself into the abyss anytime soon, I would really like some forewarning.
It's not necessarily soon, but possibly.
Yeah, sure, okay. Maybe eventually we all end up in the abyss. I would like to know why you're so curious about it.
Because the beast I search is there.
In the abyss.
Correct.
Okay. Oh,
You trusted me with one of your secrets. Are you familiar with a being called the Beast of Butchery?
I don't think I am.
Possibly then by his more known name, his true name. Yinogu?
Do I know this? I don't think I know this. I'm gonna say Advocate does not know this.
How's your demonology?
I mean, should I roll for it?
Up to you.
Yeah, sure. You're vaguely familiar with the unders. It'll be a tough check.
Is that a history or
Yeah, either history or arcana.
Let's see? But absolutely not. That was like a 7.
Yeah, then a definite non. No.
Okay.
I'm clueless, Arliss.
He is one of the demonic lords. And as such, he and I have uncertain ties, I suppose.
Oh my.
Not a contract like yours,
I was
but
about to say.
I do not know how to describe it. At the end of the day, I should say, it's time to actually sit down and talk about myself truthfully. I don't think I've done this in many years, unfortunately.
I would pour us some wine or something, but
Where we are now, it would just taste awful. Trust me. We'll pop a bottle when we're back on the surface. How about that? If we both make it back, of course.
I'll keep it on my calendar.
Of course. Oh, he is the demonic lord of savagery. Or of murder. Ruin, destruction, however you would like to put it. When I was a young boy, I witnessed the massacre of the entire de Monsieur line, plus servants, plus friends of the family who were here at my estate, in a single night. I was the only survivor, and I wish to know why.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Okay.
I have spent every night, every day since then, trying to find that answer. I want to know why I was so special. I want to know, why did they have to die? And why am I still here? Is it for some other purpose? I have done terrible, terrible things in their name to try and get an answer. And I've gotten nothing. Until now, this is the closest I've ever gotten to the beast. And I will not rest until I find that answer. I refuse to die until I find that answer.
Say you do go and you confront and you get an answer and you don't like it. What then?
I've considered that. I just want an answer. I just need closure.
Good
I
or
don't
bad, I see.
care. Truly. If they just say I'm a worm and I deserved all the pain and suffering, those sleepless nights of hearing their screams and seeing the blood on the floors and the walls. If I was just to be subjected to that, that is okay. If I am to be some higher being, a esteemed person, esteemed mortal in their service, so be it. I just want to know why I was so special. I brought nothing to my family when I was younger. I was the middle child, believe it or not. Yet, here I am, the only heir to the de Monsieur line. That's my. I do feel rather refreshed getting all of that off my chest. I will say. I don't know how to feel, actually, at this very moment. We've only known each other just a few days. And
Oh, and what a few days they've been.
Truly, truly.
What I would do for just a bath right about now.
I could go for a nice glass of wine myself. Nice warm bath, a glass of wine, some candles in the back. But I have not had that luxury for some time now.
All right. I said I'd help. I I guess I will, but
I will say, when I do go to the abyss and face the beast, once I am there, I will not be able to guarantee your survival.
yeah, that's the part I'm worried about. You see,
And I want you to know that. I will do what I can, but at the end of the day, it is one of the great demonic lords, specifically one of ruin and destruction.
yeah, Cat just kind of puts his like head in his hands. It's like, oh, what a tangled mess.
I signed the contract, I should tell
also
you,
signed this
because I
contract.
figured
wrote
it's
the
an
damn
equal
contract.
deal. It feels very one-sided to everyone else, but this truly is equal. It is up to you if you would rather step out from the contract to save your own life.
No. No. We've made it this far. I'm willing to do the work.
Have I made you curious?
Curious and well, other things. It hardly matters. An agreement is agreement. I'm not backing out now.
Absolutely. Well, there we go. You know all about me, and I know most about you.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yes, I suppose so.
But I do not know everything about you, do I?
No, you certainly don't.
You haven't told me your daughters' names yet. But I think that for another time.
If you so wish. Currently, I'm rather tired of talking.
I understand. I must admit, I feel rather strange now. I do not know how to act, what to say.
I mean, well, just like before, nothing has truly changed. It's just in the details.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. Well, I think we've talked enough. I need to freshen myself up so the brute doesn't see me in such a disastrous mess. He has to at least see that I'm, well, the Arliss that you all know, of course.
Right.
I would be distraught if he saw me in such a vulnerable state. Goodness, I would become religious if I was. Oh,
Yes. Don't let him catch you and start
absolutely.
reciting scripture at you. Not when you're
You
feeling...
would sooner see me dead, trust me. All right.
No.
Well,
Do what you
nothing
must.
has changed. Good. I am relieved.
I'm
Yes.
still mulling, but it's... Having information is good.
Food for thought is always good. If you have any other questions for me, I will answer them the best I can. But no, I may have done some wretched things in the past, but I am a man of my word when I am truthful. And in the contract, I will fulfill it to the best of my ability. I will guarantee you that.
We're just two fucking birds of a feather, aren't we?
Too true, Major.
All right, I'm going to think. You do what you're going to do. I need a moment.
Absolutely. I'll be here if you need me. Take care. And scene.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Backstory drop. What's up?
God damn it.
What's
We're
good?
going to the abyss. Like, why are we doing that?
Cole, you're muted.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording there.